Welcome. Don't know how to start this off with the fact that, well, beyond the fact that this car's been sitting for almost 6 years, and I decided I want to move it so I can rearrange the garage, and I thought it'll probably be easier if I just put an engine in it while it's sitting here, and then I can actually drive it and have this for a backup car. I just noticed these little flaps here that I've never looked at. Oh, the bolts to the wiper transmission. Neat. Anyway, I've been working on trying to get a junkyard engine for this. I just decided Monday or Tuesday, today's Wednesday, that how about I put an engine in this? And Emily's fine with it because she likes this car, even though I didn't have it running for very long. And I don't think I've destroyed too much getting ready to H-swap it. Not admitting defeat on the H-swap yet. I have the factory fuel pump out of it. I think I'm going to put the Walbro one in, and it'll just be way overkill fuel pump for 150 horsepower engine. I called a junkyard out in Muskegon that showed one of these engines, and they didn't have it. I called a junkyard out on the east side of the state. They said, let us check, make sure we still have it. And then I told them I'd give them a $50 tip if they could make sure that they can get the crank bolt loose. Because whatever engine I get, I want to put a new timing belt water pump on. Then I don't have to worry about it for 90, 100,000 miles. If I do decide to put miles on this like I do with Patty. Still haven't heard back. It's after 5 o'clock, going on 6. So I don't think I'm actually going to hear back from them. There's a couple other places on the west side of the state. I think I'm going to try, ask if they have one. Plan is if they can verify they can get the crank bolt out so that I'll be able to time the engine, then I'm going to just take off from work early on Friday and go pick it up with Patty. As far as the cost, engines for this, $300 to $500, hopefully low hundreds, 100,000-ish is. I don't think I have a whole lot to do because it shouldn't be that difficult for me to get back together, even though I haven't really touched this in a while. Being I labeled the plugs that came off, and I should remember which ones. Like this should go to the alternator. Where does this go? PS. Oh, throttle position. VSS, vehicle speed sensor? Is that how that lays? Anyways, once I get it back together, there's a couple issues that it had before it died that I need to figure out. One being why the cruise doesn't work. This still has, apparently vacuum for cruise and a physical cable. And why the fans weren't coming on with temperature. I threw 2 sensors at it, didn't actually diagnose it, and it's still a mystery to me. I might even buckle down and have the Honda dealer diagnose it. But once it's running and driving, that's a start. Worst case, I guess, I could hardwire a switch to the fans. The fans do work. I didn't verify if they only worked on the low speed, not the high speed. Radiator's not in the car because with the swap, I planned on doing a Mishimoto radiator, but the Napa one I got that's actually for an automatic that I screwed the fittings in for the trans cooler in for no reason and then put it in the car anyway. Still put that in there. Beyond that, clutch disc I set outside for some reason 6 years ago, and it's sat there ever since, so that's not usable. So it's gonna need clutch and flywheel, timing belt, water pump, set the valve latch, so the valve cover gasket, because that's got to come off to take the timing cover off anyway. Maybe verify timing on the new engine for ignition timing with a timing light, since they still have a distributor on them. And the radio has weird connectivity. I think I might just cut the whole harness and crimp in a new end of it from a car, even though it's got an aftermarket, but then that gives me something to plug into with a ready to go aftermarket adapter for it. This motor mount's shot, but I think getting an engine here is going to be top priority, and hopefully the PCM doesn't need to be reprogrammed now that I unplugged it. Maybe I can use this as a stepping stone to the H-swap, at least having it running back in one piece at least, and not scattered across the garage. Having the big fuel pump in there, then that's one less thing to worry about. And oh, I snapped the washer fluid lines. I don't think that's going to be a terribly big deal. Get the tinted headlights out, because I already... That's good for another timing cover. Oh, cool. It looks like there's a bunch of moisture in here. Or someone clear coated these. Anyway, I got these from a kid parting one out. Non-tinted headlights. That's... Hopefully they work. Hopefully they work for a coupe. They're different. Who knows? I think I also ruined the knock sensor is just pushed on with blades. I think I ripped that, so I'll have to rewire that. And the reverse switch, reverse light switch on the transmission. Also, I think I'll do the input shaft seal on the transmission, maybe the rear main on the new engine. Don't know, haven't looked at it. They just bolt on. Yeah, and then put oil in it, put new plugs in it, and treat it like it is the factory engine. Which means I'll be able to get the front end back together. I started making a video about centering the rack, because when I bought this, total toe going straight was perfect, but I spun the tie rods to get the steering wheel back center because it was way off. And now I don't know if someone set toe with a crooked steering wheel, way crooked, or the rack was in crooked. So that's something I should address. I don't need the engine in, of course, to do that. I'd open this trunk and point at the nice, easy peasy fuel pump access hole, but I just got home from work. I don't feel like moving these sensors to somewhere where I'll remember where they're at. I thought about getting a bigger toolbox because I have well outgrown that Harbor Freight roll cart. They're doing 2 years interest free on anything 800 or more, and the 52 by 22 or 56 by 22 box is 900. So I thought about doing that. I don't think I will though. If I can get some organization going on in here. Move that table, that couch, this engine, maybe turn that in as a core. I don't know. I don't think I need anything off of it. With the machine work that this motor needs, that's been the biggest hurdle. Is I've had better things to spend my money on than getting the machine work to have dart mid sleeves put in, and it's just hasn't been something I've been able to justify doing. The real main reason I got a bug to get this back together is I'd like to use the garage as a workspace again, and getting this out of here so that Emily can park her car in here when I'm not using it, and then use this half or both halves. It'd be really nice. Hopefully, if I'm gonna get some cars to flip, I can start with a car that is going to cost money but have the potential to make thousands, rather than buy a car that costs hundreds with the potential to make 1,000 and end up losing 1,000 and all that fun stuff that comes with attempting to make money. I did have a neat idea for the factory intake. If I do, or I shouldn't admit defeat yet. Maybe I am just living in denial, but if I do get the H built, ready to be boosted, and in the car within the next couple coming winters, what I wanted to do is cut the factory intake down the middle so I can slide that over the charge piping, even if it's not actually doing anything, but just to cover it up, and then have the air box there cut up so that the charge piping runs through there, just to add to the sleeper aspect. But I gotta stop getting ahead of myself and just take this car for what I bought it for and have it just be a reliable daily driver. I think it's kind of nice, especially for 2001. These were nice cars. I actually take another look at this transmission, as I think I mentioned doing the input shaft seal. I'm pretty sure all this is from a leaking rear main, and doing an input shaft seal on this would probably just be a waste of time. And I don't know, I put the throw bearing back in when it's going to come with a clutch kit.